Yeah, I started in Kogi State at a place called Felele, very close to Lokoja, um, and then moved to a place called Indima, still in Kogi State, but in the Kotonkarife axis on the way to Abuja, and then moved to Adagba in the FCT. That was the final place we worked, and that was where you came to visit us. Yeah, myself, I can't remember the year, but we moved to Adagba in 2007, and probably it's in 2008 or 2009 you came to visit us. No, it's not 2008. It should be 2009 or 2010, thereabout. Yes. Yeah. The Basa people, like I said earlier, in the Kogi axis, they are largely animists, and with some Christianized population amongst them, but the Christianity is in greater part syncretic, where they combine it with animism, but at the Nasarawa axis, it is mixed. They have animists, Christians, and Muslims, while at the FCT and Niger State, they are predominantly Muslims, even though Islam among rural people is still syncretic. A lot of mixed practice with the traditional religion. So that was the last place we worked in the FCT, though we're also making incursions into the Niger State axis, because they have boundaries with the FCT. So, and because Capro works to plant churches among unreached people groups, but where there are churches, we don't we try not to create tension and contention and opposition. We work with the existing churches. So that was the situation in Basa, where we started at the Kogi axis and the Nasarawa axis. We were involved in discipleship and strengthening the church, manpower, and discipleship. But when we moved to the FCT, the target was to plant churches, but we didn't really get to plant one before we left. But where there are churches, we were working with churches in those communities, in evangelism and manpower development and discipleship. Yeah. Eventually, we had to transmit the work to the indigenous disciples that we had raised, that were working with us. When I joined the team in Mali, the work was also patterned somehow like what we're doing in Basa in Nigeria, in the sense that we are not planting churches here among the Fulanis, but that is largely because of the peculiarity of the situation here, because of the insurgency and insecurity. It's difficult to have a church in the traditional sense, a formal church, as it were. But what we have is informal churches, kind of underground churches, but in places where it is safe to do so. We have the open churches. We have the traditional church. Now we have a target. We have a goal. We have a vision to raise Fulani believers from here that will go after their kinsmen, everywhere where the Fulanis are found. Actually, that is a Capro's strategy among the mega people group I mentioned earlier. Large people groups that cut across national boundaries. We seek to engage them where they are more accessible and more amenable, more open, more responsive to the gospel, and seek to raise men, laborers that could go to their kinsmen elsewhere, especially in those difficult places or areas.